Always stoked to hook up and talk college football with our boy Rich Cirminiello.
Hey, Scott, last weekend we talked about week one in college football, early lines, gave some picks. I'm going to go a little bit deeper into the schedule. We've got games of the year, some futures games already out on FanDuel, so I'm going to give some picks on my favorite games, see if we can get some early value on those lines. I'm going to begin with week two. Huge game. Texas travels to Michigan. I know a lot of folks nationally are down on Michigan, and I get it. They haven't even decided on a quarterback yet. But if you're going to give me points, plus 3.5, defending national champs in Ann Arbor at night, I'm going to take it. And here's the reason why. Michigan's defense might be the best unit in the country. They've got the elite tandem at defensive tackle, Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham. They've got the best cornerback in the country in Will Johnson. And my concern with Texas, very good Texas team, but they lost their two interior linemen to the NFL. First rounder Byron Murphy, second rounder Tavondre Sweat. So I think a heavy load of Donovan Edwards on the ground. I like Michigan to win this game, getting points. I'm going to move to Clemson and week four. Listen, I never pass on an opportunity, Scott, to dog Clemson, dog Dabo Swinney. I think he's not doing a good job in this era of the transfer portal and NIL, but I think there's too much disrespect in that game against NC State. Clemson minus 6.5. I'm seeing a lot of books going to 7.5. Under a touchdown, I'm taking Clemson, giving 6.5. To NC State, they've won 9 straight over the Wolfpack in Death Valley. I think Cade Klubnik, their quarterback, year 2 in Garrett Riley's system, I think he's going to be a lot more competent, an elite defense again for Clemson. And I don't like Grayson McCall, the new quarterback at NC State. Without Jamie Chadwell at Coastal Carolina, he struggled last year. Now I'm going to go to a neutral site, October 12th, Red River Rivalry. Listen, I swear, I'm not down on Texas per se, but you're going to give me 8.5 points at Oklahoma against Texas. Brent Venables is really beginning to turn the Sooners around. That defense is one of the top 20 units in the country. I love their young quarterback, Jackson Arnold. I think this is a toss-up game. Listen, Oklahoma, Scott, has won 5 of the last 6 meetings between these schools. I'm taking Oklahoma plus the 8.5 to win this game outright. And finally, with a few seconds left, Ohio State against Michigan. Ohio State's giving 9.5. This game's in Columbus. This is 3 years worth of vengeance for the Buckeyes. I'm laying the points. 7 of the last 9 meetings in the game have been decided by double digits. I think this is no difference. I think Ohio State rolls and moves on to a Big Ten title after this. Give me Ohio State minus 9.5 against Michigan.
Well, I mean, it's a little early for me on that, other than to say they don't have Harbaugh and McCarthy around anymore. So they're certainly not going to be the same Michigan team, in my opinion, that won the national championship. Those days are gone. So he may be right. That's a giant number to lay though. Carver High, thanks, by the way, Rich Cirminiello. The Notre Dame Michigan State rivalry is going to renew. The problem I have with it is that I don't believe that's a rivalry, and I also think I'd rather watch Notre Dame play Michigan. That's the rivalry I want.
Well, yeah, look, obviously they played both Michigan and Michigan State for a very, very long time before a couple of years ago when they had to disband both of those regular engagements. I think most would say that Michigan is the bigger rivalry, and I think that part of that is also, Scotty, just because Michigan is, for the most part, always been better, right? And I think that right. Also factors in to the equation. But I don't mind if they want to bring Sparty by for a couple of years for the Irish to get themselves a couple of wins. I'm never going to say no to that.
I'll tell you another thing. I don't buy frankly, the Navy and the Stanford either. Or, I'm okay with USC, but the Navy and Stanford thing is just not cutting the mustard for me anymore. And no one cares about Michigan State football. Let's just get real.
Look, if this guy doesn't make the playoff this year, Scotty, with it being expanded to 12 teams, and he's got a couple of tough games, I'm not going to deny that, he's going to be in big trouble in South Bend if you don't make the playoff this year, Marcus Freeman. Bringing in Riley Leonard from Duke. It didn't go well with Hartman last year. He's going to have to get this done this year, that's for sure. They also gave you the, the toughest places to play in the new video game. Texas A&M. Irish are rolling in there week number 1 and getting a victory down at College Station.